Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt with 1836 Property Management in beautiful Austin, Texas. Today is the 15th of January. It is MLK Day here in beautiful Austin, 2018. We've got a couple topics for you today. One is a little bit of owner's education that's going to hopefully last us a while, and the other is our weekly update. So what's going on with real estate in Austin and real estate investing specifically? The latest trend we've been hearing in the last week has been a move toward a lack of using or non-selection of the MLS for way to market properties. Now, for Austin, this is kind of unheard of. For other marketplaces, it's been trending this way. For some like Tucson, they haven't used them in some time other than just to list them to say that they're listing them, but they don't offer any co-op fees with agents. Therefore, they don't really get any traffic from those agents. In Austin, traditionally, if you didn't use the MLS, well, people couldn't find you because it was integrated to so many places. Agencies are actually moving away from it now. We've heard of some great friends in San Antonio who are not using it at all. Also talked to one person in Georgetown today who stopped using it years ago. Kind of remarkable given that it was Georgetown, it is a small community, but he's actually finding all of his tenants online, not through the MLS and not with other agents. Very interesting. We at 1836 are still using all the methods possible because we believe that by pushing your information out there for your lease property to the most locations possible, we can reach the most people. Now, there are different strategies on how and when to do those things, but we've still got just about everything in our armory that we can possibly put in there, and we're using all the ammunition we can. So we want to get your property leased as quickly as possible. So the big topic we have for you today, especially since it's MLK Day, is a great day to go over this topic, is owners' desire to select their own tenants. We've had multiple people come to us over the years that are investors that own rental properties that were our clients, whether they were white, brown, dark, indifferent, nationality, honestly not that important. We've had just about every type of person come talk to us and at some point say, I want you to manage my property, but I don't want you to rent to those type of people. Now, the funny part is that some of these people were actually referring to their own ethnicity. So they weren't necessarily even trying to discriminate against others, but they didn't like some of the traits of their own ethnicity. We can't really explain that or wouldn't even try to touch on it, but what we can say is that at 1836 and by federal and state guidelines, we treat all parties fairly. That's just the only way we're going to do business. It's also the only way we can lower your liability as an owner. One of our salespeople had a gentleman who's been trying to come to our company as a client for a couple months now. He keeps calling him and saying, I want to come over. I'm unhappy with my manager. First thing we did is look at his problems and say, well, are these something we can solve, or there's something that you're just misunderstanding? And when we really got into it, he wanted a couple things. And the biggest of those was he wanted to select his own tenants. We said, well, okay, I hear you, but why? Why do you want to select your own tenants? He said, well, I just want a good Christian family. You've just broken federal law twice. This is why companies that care about their clients and really uphold the law don't let owners select tenants, because this can be misconstrued. You see, I can place 3 tenants in front of you and not even share their personal information, but you're going to look for subtle clues. We as property managers are trained not to. We want to look at math. We want to look at their credit score. We want to look at how long they've had a job. We want to look if they have any debt. We want to look at things like that that really determine whether or not they're going to pay their bills. Now, I don't know about you as an owner, but if I was not in property management, I probably would not read federal law. I probably would not know what credit scores determine or show that a tenant will not pay rent. I certainly wouldn't know what a good rental history was or any of those things other than talking to random people who could be the tenant's own cousin. So as an owner who's screening your own tenants or selecting that tenant out of a pool, what are you supposed to do? Well, you're supposed to rely on your property manager. And I don't mean a gut reaction of, oh, I trust them and they're a good person. I mean, ask them, what are your statistics? You're telling me that you're an expert and you can pick a tenant based on all the criteria that you've got out there and you've got years of experience. What is that number? What is your eviction rate? You should be able to tell me on an annual basis how many tenants or what percentage of your tenants go into default and have to be evicted either voluntarily or forcefully. And if you can't tell me that number, you're not only not great at a property manager, you're not great at running your business, because that's huge to our clients. So we've got other companies out there, and I'm going to say right now, some of the national companies, they're going into the marketplaces and they've got on their priority list profits and then their fiduciary responsibility. Profits is number one. So if you ask them, can I pick my tenant? Absolutely, you can do anything you want. They don't care about state law. I'm not even sure they care about national law. All they care about is profit. Now, do they have a duty to serve you? Yes, but they consider that second. Those of us that have been in business forever really consider that first. Whether we make money or don't, the state says you have to do the right thing. And we're licensed at their leisure. So at any time when we start misbehaving, they can pull that license and put us out of business. We can't take that risk. A national company who's here, who can have attorneys fight them or get out of it and pay some fines, they may be able to take that risk, but you're going to be in court with them. So what's an owner to do? If you want to go to court, look at that tenant criteria. Ask them for personal information, which you can be sued for then later because you saw something and maybe they think you had their social security number and you really didn't. And go ahead and take that risk, all for the sake of discrimination? I don't think so. We at 1836 are not going to do that. On MLK Day, greatest day of any other, we're going to tell you right now that we're going to treat all Americans the same, and that's just going to be the way it is. And so if you want to select your tenant and you want to find that good Christian family and you want to manage your own property, you can legally do that. But if you work with a property management company, whether it's mine, whether it's any other, especially the national companies, and they allow you to select your own tenant, we would say that's a disservice, if not increasing your liability and probably somebody that's not ethical enough to work with. So be careful what you wish for. Ask for the back-end ratios on it and why you should trust them. And do the right thing. Treat everybody the same. Look at them on paper, black and white, and say, do you pay your bills? Do you not? Do you not make enough money? Do you make enough money? And look at those statistics and choose them by math. Don't choose them by skin color or anything else. And I think you'll have the best outcome. Our eviction rate is less than 0.5% annually. That's not because we look at people's last names. It's because we do the right thing and we let statistics tell us which way to go. If we can help you in Austin, please give us a call, 1836propertymanagement.com, 512-994-4323. Thanks, and enjoy the great holiday.